Hey everybody, my name is E-Double, their name is PJ Harvey. Let's go. Yeah. Mama told me. Come on. Mama told me. One day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll
Okie dokie. Welcome back to the Stay Grounded podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and for the first time in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks actually, we're back with everyone on deck, all hands on deck. We got myself, Brandon. We got Phil to the left of me.
Welcome back.
And we got Joshua.
Evening, all of you.
What a time. What a time to be alive. The Stay Grounded podcast crew is back at it. All three co-hosts in the same room together, not only for the podcast, but for the first time, I think, in a couple of weeks, maybe more than a couple. Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
Rare.
We've, as we've spoken about in the last few podcasts, we've actually really failed seeing each other on a regular basis, all of us. So, me being away, Josh being sick, and us being all together now is a really, really dope thing.
So true.
Before we get into it, I want to just give respect and props to these two, Josh and Phil. Last week, they had the podcast just by themselves. They absolutely killed it.
Thank you.
I watched the podcast, and genuinely, not that I had low expectations of the pod.
You should. You should have.
Not that I did, but I went in there with no expectations, and they completely blew them out of the water. It was smooth. Phil, you led the conversation perfectly. Josh, you were a perfect complimentary to that.
Thank you, sir.
You guys were funny. You were smooth. You were charismatic. You were natural. I really enjoyed the podcast. So, just props to you guys.
Thank you. And we got a lot of support on it during the week, so thank you to everyone that enjoyed that. We definitely all bring our own little flavour to it, so it was different not having you there, just like when we don't have Josh, it's different.
We're lacking a little bit of chocolate flavour, if you get what I'm saying.
The people seem to enjoy it.
With that being said, since you guys got so much love without me on it, if you want the...
Got what?
If you got so much love without
me
on
in love?
The podcast...
What?
If you guys want the only POC off the podcast, we can make that happen.
Our revenue would drop, so we need to keep it here for
or
the
increase, and then you'll know what kind of clientele we have.
We need the quota.
The quota! I'm just here to submit a quota.
Yes, next. Let's move on.
On a real though, not only did these guys do the podcast, like the actual talking and recording, they also did the camera, they did the editing, they did the uploading, they did the whole thing by themselves. So
it was good, yeah. It was smooth. Like, obviously we hadn't done it before, so there was a bit of a learning curve to it, but we didn't plug the mic into the wrong sockets. We didn't press a button, so it didn't pick up either one of the mics.
Didn't have to start our recording.
That's actually
twice.
happened before. We've had to restart recordings in the past. That wasn't the case.
We couldn't get the camera right though, but we got there.
But look, needless to say, I just wanted to give props to start off with. It was awesome.
Thank you for the love.
That's all right, man. I think you guys.
We got a bit of a Dutch angle going on this.
The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention and just say, give props to for is the merch that has dropped.
The merch. Tell us more.
Sorry, some technical difficulties, but we'll continue.
No, keep going. I'm back in.
The merch. So this last week, you would have seen a bit of a soft launch around the
soft launch.
You've been doing a few soft launches lately.
Wait, what are we talking? What are we talking about?
I'm talking about the tees, the Stay Grounded tees.
Sorry, the merch. My fault.
It was a soft launch. We didn't like upload, say, hey, this is the first person to wear it. But you would have seen it in and around the place on socials if you follow any of us on socials. So just want to make that clear that they're out. Erica, I know you guys shouted her out briefly.
Shout out to Erica.
Episode, but you'll get yours probably this week now that we're back and we can do deliveries. Obviously, Aaron and I are stuck doing the delivery. Surprise, surprise. who else will get behind a courier reel and deliver someone to your house? But such is life. I love this country.
10,000 deliveries.
Advanced Australia Fair and all that. But but look,
Josh's road toll is too high for him to do
it. Where was I? Where was Aaron? Both of us were on a little long weekend holiday in Vietnam. We decided long weekend. Let's just take a trip to Viet. I've never been to Viet. Aaron's been to Viet. And I've heard some good things. So we went there, and it was an amazing holiday. I just want to say that I knew nothing about Vietnam. I've not done any research about it until saying let's go to Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, and it's my favorite Asian city that I've visited yet. without question.
Ooh, that's a big call.
China's
Very big
pissed
call.
off right now with
Well-
that claim, but
China's yet to get a visit from a De Silva. Should happen towards the end of this year. But the CCP. But yeah, Vietnam, you take the award right now, and it's a pretty big claim when you compare it to something like Singapore.
Yeah, they must be pretty happy to hear that they got your stamp of approval. I'm sure they
Yeah.
care a lot.
do you reckon they'll advertise that? Like,
Brandon
Forever?
Stamp approval, like TripAdvisor sort of thing.
yeah.
No, and like just the country. If you guys have been in Vietnam, you'd know. Highlights of the trip or like reasons why I loved it. I can sum it up in really 3 or 4 points. The food to start with, amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Of course, that's number one. I was eating
How
about
many
8 or
meals
9.
were you eating a day?
Like
Yeah.
literally about 8 or 9 meals.
No,
easy.
no, you said 9.
9.
Let's not
yeah.
undercut it.
9 meals easy. The food was amazing.
That's insane.
The people are just so nice. Like actually, I didn't meet one bad or like rude person. Period.
Yeah, that's unlikely to get along with everyone you meet.
Shout out Sonny and Bach, 2 of the tour guides.
Did you send them the link to the pod?
No.
oh, that's
One thing I learned
that's fucked
about
up.
Vietnam, and I mean this with there's no disrespect to it. They not like a lot of other countries prioritize English because it's a global language. Vietnam don't do that.
Good.
So yeah, I think it's actually dope.
so real.
The same opinion I have with like the countries in the UAE. You know, people complain about they follow Sharia law and it's not good. My opinion stands, which is like if you're going to that country, you respect their rules and you respect their way of life.
100%. We have a rule for this podcast that I'm introducing. Whenever anyone goes international overseas,
Yeah.
promo the podcast.
You have to.
True,
you have to
true.
sell it.
And get evidence. Like,
Yeah,
we had
sell
to
the
bring it
product.
back. Yep.
I might print 10 t-shirts before I go and just hand them out on the show. I might have a Queen's Guard wearing it.
That's a great idea.
Queen's God.
All right, in 2 months we're gonna do that.
Oh,
But yeah, no, it's I really like the countries that just go, hey, this is us, whether you like it or not. You're not. No one's asking you to come to our country. If you come to our country, you respect our rules, and you're gonna enjoy the country for what we have it. And Vietnam's one of those places. English is not strong, but there's a way people just understand each other.
do people really not follow that rule? Is that a thing? Why
Yeah.
would you go to another country and not follow their rules?
Not follow the rules, but there are countries that bend their rules because Western countries tell them to.
How entitled would you be to go to an Asian country and get pissed off they don't speak English?
You'd be that's not necessarily the point I'm making. Like that's I'm just saying it's cool that they don't see it as like a thing that they need to do. A lot of Asian countries feel the need.
Good for
and
them.
Even in education systems, they feel the need to push English because whatever.
We should
And I'm
speak
not saying that's a
Vietnamese.
bad thing, but for a country to be like, no, this is Vietnam, and we want to stay true to our culture. Power
That's
to you.
True. Fair enough. Play on.
But yeah, no, it was an amazing holiday. People, the food, the shopping was amazing, and just the sightseeing. I'm sure we'll get into it a little more throughout the podcast. But yeah, very blessed, very great little quick trip, 5-dayer.
It's so crazy you can go like overseas for 5 days. Like it's
Yeah,
so
what?
weird to think about. Like basically like a weekend in another
Well,
country.
That's what it was. It was a long weekend. We had
That's
the Anzac
crazy.
Day. Obviously, shout out to the Anzacs. Lest we forget, very important part of Australian and New Zealand history. So that's so we have to pay our respects there, and we will never forget. But the long weekend was there. It was an opportunity, and we thought we'd just see another place.
So you left the country on Anzac Day is what I'm hearing.
No, we left before,
Oh,
and
wow.
I paid my
Okay.
respects when I was
Okay.
in the plane and on the way there.
Boy, oh boy.
But yeah, no. So if you guys were wondering, that's where we were, and very blessed trip. Very very grateful to even have the opportunity to do that
Who did you fly with?
via jet, which honestly great airline as well. Like, no complaints about the airline. It's a stock standard airline. It's not anything. It's not like an Emirates or an Etihad or anything. You just get a seat. I'm sure you get oxygen masks if anything happens.
Oh, you'd hope so.
And the food on board's good.
How
like-
long is it to Vietnam?
8 hours
Straight?
straight, direct.
What, you want to have a layover halfway through an 8-hour flight?
They do though.
I
No.
I had
Bro,
no idea where
if
it
you're doing a
was.
layover in an 8-hour flight, bro, you get some help.
Up until like a year ago, you couldn't go direct to Viet.
Why not?
You had to go from here to
Yeah,
Singapore. and Singapore to
yeah.
Viet.
Oh, but that's nothing. That's like,
But
what's
still,
3 hours.
Still layovers. Yeah.
3-hour flight from Singapore to Vietnam.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
I would have guessed like 2.
Wow.
Hmm.
All
So
right, I'll
Yeah,
sit this
shout
one
out to Vietnam.
Yeah. Shout out to Vietjet.
Locals.
Like honestly, I don't know how high Vietnam is on your list of places you're wanting to travel.
I think I want to see all of Asia.
Like genuinely, if you guys were to say,
Like
hey,
99% of it.
like next February, let's go to Vietnam, I would be so down to go to Vietnam with you guys again.
Next February, let's go to Vietnam.
Are you serious?
I want to do a lot of travel
Yeah.
next year.
Are we locking in February Vietnam?
Yeah.
Boys.
Until we don't unlock it. and
Yeah,
then-
let's soft lock it.
Yeah, soft
Soft
launch
lock it.
or soft launch.
I don't know. I want to see China bad, bro. I want to see China so bad.
We can discuss off
I was gonna.
camera, but there is a China plan in my head that I want to try and make happen. But we'll discuss off camera.
Okay.
Okay, should I go on a holiday this year?
Yes, you need one holiday, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I just can't decide.
What's
Probably
floating
with
in your
Kristen.
mind?
Do you know where
I
he's
don't
going? Take a guess where he's going.
No.
And he's not joking. He's
Are you
not
being
joking.
so
that
He's
doesn't-
not
No,
joking.
that doesn't count.
Are you
No,
being serious?
no,
You're going to
no.
New York again.
That was a spontaneous decision.
How?
That's not what I'm talking
spontaneous,
about.
bro. That's force of habit. That's not spontaneous, dude. That
Let
is
me explain.
insane.
Let me explain.
Please, the mic is yours.
If the mighty New York Knicks make the NBA Finals, I thought I would be in New York to support the boys.
You mean in a month?
Maybe if we get it's a bit longer than a month.
No, by the end of June, the playoffs finished.
End of June.
So, what, 6 weeks?
Yeah. If we somehow win the Eastern Conference Finals, I'll see what I can muster up. That's not a soft launch at all. That's just my speculation. Very unlikely to happen, but I have faith in
He
my
can't help
boys.
himself,
He
eh?
cannot. He's addicted.
But no, that wasn't what I meant when I
I'd
brought
love
it
to
up.
see what you think the world map looks like. It's just Brisbane and New York
Yeah.
and flights
But
going back and
I
forth.
think even if you go to New York, you shouldn't count that as a holiday.
No, that's just work.
Count-
That's
You
business.
go on business trip.
Why would he not count it
Bro,
as a holiday?
Because bro's going on an exchange student excursion, bro.
I'm gonna
That's
live
what
in
it is.
live in the garden.
I'm telling you, man, traveling makes you. It gives you so much like motivation to do it again. And for me, it's like a landmark to work towards something and again go out and do something. So yeah, I love it. Again, just very blessed that we were able to do it. And shout out Lorenzo for coming with Aaron and I. Great holiday partner. Homie was just there was a day we were up for 24 hours straight. We did not sleep. We left the hotel room. We woke up at 5 a.m. Came back to the hotel at 6 a.m.
Ooh.
the next day.
What mischievous actions did he get up to? I can imagine Lorenzo getting up to some trouble.
He was actually pretty tame. Oh, there was a few incidences where, some of the girls were jumping on him and grabbing onto him, and there was a nipple incident. There was a
Okay.
There was a few
that's-
incidents.
All right. Nipple
Yeah,
incident
there's a few
sounds very
there.
familiar.
There was a few incidents, but no, he didn't do anything crazy. It was just the people there. Oh, I just uploaded an Instagram post on Instagram.
I gave
I
it a
saw it.
like.
I think I scrolled past without liking it.
Oh,
I left the
I'm
comment
kidding, I
as
liked it.
well.
appreciate you. One of the photos was a Asian, like a little Asian kid took a photo with us, and
Saw that.
we were sitting similar to what we experienced in Singapore. Actually, we were sitting
Yeah.
in a street food place eating, and this mum, daughter, and son started talking to us. The mum had pretty decent English, and she was asking us where we were from and blah blah blah. And towards the end of their meal, we were still sitting and eating on these little chairs. Chairs, by the way, smaller than what we're sitting on. And
Stay
then
ground against some love
Yeah.
and Viet.
as they were leaving, she goes, "Oh, can my son? Can we take a photo with you? We really want to take a photo with you guys."
That's crazy.
Like what? Yeah. So
Have you not experienced that before,
these
Josh?
guys sat
All
and took
time.
photos with us.
But it's
in
crazy.
the
Like
market.
you're literally the zoo animals.
Yeah, quite literally. Yep, 100%. And before that, we went on a tour and they made us do a monkey walk.
I did see that video. That was good.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's why part of me. That's why I love those countries so much, because there's nothing like they don't mean it in a bad way.
It's because they've
It's
never
just-
seen a 6 foot tall man.
It's just fun to them, and it's like whatever.
Yeah,
like
I play pro ball.
we walked over like this log when we went on one of these tours. The Choo tunnels, which is we'll talk about what we did there. The war area. Coochie tunnels. And
Did you get lost?
That's a good word.
Did you get lost in the Gucci tunnels?
No, I know my way around it.
I got scared.
What?
Oh wait, this one out, guys.
Anyway, so there's this bridge that you walk across, and she goes, the tour guide was like, "Oh, this is called the Monkey Tunnel," and we're like, "Oh, cool," because apparently you look like a monkey when you walk on it. Monkey Bridge, something.
It's like a Mario
And then
Kart.
Aaron
map.
and Lorenzo are walking on it, and she made a monkey comment, and I was like,
That's
call,
crazy.
Call this, guys. I said to her, call him a monkey, and it was just she didn't do it, but it was just for the fun of it. And it just goes to show you how like sometimes lighthearted those things can be, especially if it's done in the right sort of environment.
Yeah, subtle racism.
Coochie tunnels. You guys know much about the Coochie tunnels?
I know nothing about Vietnam.
He's smirking.
I know nothing about Vietnam, but I sure could find my way.
I'm just a listener.
Tell me.
I'm interested to hear it.
I actually
'cause
know
haven't
nothing
asked you
about
the trip yet.
Vietnam. I know Aunt Do's from there. So
Should I stop talking about the trip?
No, I'm saying I haven't heard you talk about it yet.
Oh. So the Coochie tunnels are what Vietnam, the Vietnamese side used to win the war, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
They're these underground tunnels, and so impressive. Also, you realize how small those Vietnamese people are when, like, they're literally not designed for people like any of us in this room. So small, and if you get claustrophobia, which I know you're a little bit claustrophobic, like in tight spaces,
tiny bit, yeah.
I am.
they give you a warning. It's literally like I was cramping by bending down how small these tunnels are.
Yeah.
There was a video I showed these boys of me hopping into a hole.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
Yes.
I hated every second of that.
That's how you enter the Coochie tunnel. And you go in this hole, and then you got to walk through this tunnel. And you know it's really interesting to see how they did it. Underground rooms, underground hospital areas, like actually insane. But I love the history side of it. I was like, it's nuts to see how they won the war. Something that I really respect out of that country is they didn't really have crazy weaponry or anything, and they still won the war just using their brain.
Yeah, I've seen
And
those
just
TikToks
sheer
of like
determination.
the homemade landmines and stuff they'd
Yes.
make from like rice paper and
Yep.
weird stuff.
And they would cut bombs that didn't explode.
Yeah.
There was a they
Like
had
the
a
pit.
they had a one, was it a 6 centimeter? A 1 centimeter sort of thing, like room to play with, and you got to cut this bomb exactly within the 1 centimeter. If you go either side, the bomb's gonna blow up and you're gonna die. They could cut it exactly down the middle and then use the TNT that obviously didn't explode for their own weapons.
Mm.
I'm surprised that you value the brains over the weaponry in that
Man,
Because I just think, like, in the context of basketball, you're obviously super talented, but you can't read a screen on an inbound play.
All right.
I had
Segway.
that was a really bad game. I'm not usually that bad.
We don't have to talk about it.
Bros
No, we
ja-
will,
oh,
because-
no.
because
But keep going about your holiday if
As
you've
a
got more
man,
that you want to
we'll
share
come
about
back.
that. That's
As a
more
man,
important.
I'm not naive, right? Like you have bad games. A real man will admit when you have a bad game. I had a horrible game this Tuesday.
Good on you. That was like
And there's
Mitch
nothing.
Robinson did
There's,
that.
there's nothing embarrassing. It's embarrassing when you don't want to admit it. I had a horrible game. I played the worst game I played in my career, hands down.
It's no exaggeration.
No,
I
not
have
at all.
nothing to add.
It would have been better if I did not play. The team probably would have won if I did not play.
I'm not going to go as far to say that.
Phil, come on.
Oh, it was nice to have a bench,
Come on.
a bench player.
Do you know how many offensive rebounds we got when you hit all backboard, though?
Look.
No, keep going on about your holiday. That's more important than the ball. If you got more that you want to share.
Oh, you know, it'll come to me, but, you know, I'm just saying the things are cheap there. The party lane in Vietnam, Boy Vien lane is amazing. We got some amazing pickups in Vietnam. Suits, just tailored.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Tailored
suits.
suits.
Pickups.
Yeah, it's a
Let's
pickup.
probably reword it.
We're not picking up anything else, bro.
Mm.
I don't know about Renzo, but we're not picking up anything else.
You're a fine-looking New Zealand boy.
I don't know what they think we are, but it's definitely.
Oh, that dude that does the suits on TikTok.
Oh!
Yeah, that guy.
What's he going? He goes, I'm not going to say the words he says, but
That's why I had to be careful.
Young,
I love young. Yes, young.
Clip that.
boys.
Clip that.
absolutely gift wrap.
What's his name? Sam's Taylor, is it?
Sam's
Taylor
Taylor
from
yes,
Hong Kong.
bro.
Shout out Sam's Taylor from
I
Hong
want
Kong.
a suit from Sam's
We
Taylor.
should go to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Well, if we go China, you should. If you go in China, you definitely stop at Hong Kong. Go China.
You'd hope so.
Hong Kong's
So
beautiful.
did you get a suit from Vietnam?
I
Is
got
that what you're
two.
telling me?
Tailored,
Damn, what color?
black and grey.
Nice.
Standard. Oh, it's simple.
Nice.
I'm going more simple. More
What's that Steve Harvey clip?
Oh,
Every man needs a
get
black suit.
tan suit, what? Gray suit, brown suit, and a black suit.
And then a powder blue shirt and a pink shirt.
And every one of those jackets go wear every one of those last pants. Nah. Anyway, you're all probably bored of my holiday. It was a great time, and just thank God, praise you for giving me the opportunity to go.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yes, sir.
Right on. What happened in your guys' life?
This week? Shit. What has happened in this week? I had a day off from work.
Oh,
And for those that know me, that does not happen.
Very big
I had
thing.
a day off from work.
What day was it and why?
It was a Sunday.
Was it planned?
Not according to me, according to the workplace, apparently.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they like you didn't call it off. They just gave you the off day.
Yeah, I was just off Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah, thought I'd treat you, man. You deserve it.
It actually wasn't you, but thank you.
How did it feel?
It was fun. It filled up my cup.
Mm.
Because a good Sunday a good Sunday gives you momentum for a good Monday, and a good Monday sets the tone for the whole week. I'm on cloud 9 this week, brother. I'm right there.
For only one reason, or
Yeah.
it's the month of May.
It is. May's going to be a great month. This is why I've come in with the vibes. So, I was thinking on the drive to work this morning. Like, I love podcasting, but when we try and be consistent and routine with it every week, there's just some weeks it sort of feels like dog days. And you just go like, if it's a week where the only time you've got consecutive 3 hours together and you put it towards this, sometimes it's a bit like, I don't want to do it. I've really been looking forward to this today. This month just has a good vibe.
Yeah.
Good things are going to happen.
I feel the same about May. May's gonna be a great month.
May's going to be a great month. What's in store for you in May, Josh?
I go to Melbourne as well.
Oh! We got 3 for 3 on the great month, baby. Look at this.
We got some
Yes,
exciting
sir.
things. It's Kristen's birthday this month, so she's very happy.
Kristen, we got a few big birthday months coming up.
So
back
some
to back.
exciting things to look forward to.
Shout out to Kristen.
Shout out to Kristen. That's what I got up to last week. Went to a uni graduation.
Yes,
congrats.
big shout out to
Big shout out
Kristen.
to Kristen and
Congratulations,
everyone else
that's
who
big time.
graduated.
She put the bat suit on and got on stage. Very proud of her.
I'm proud of her too. That was dope.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, for all your hard work, bro.
It was hard. It's been a lot of hard hours. No, she deserves it. And she's already been teaching for 2 terms, so just we trot.
Yes, sir.
That's actually a very exciting week you've had.
Yeah, I know. That's the most I've done. We had to work. Back at work actually after being sick.
Yeah, you never work anymore, eh?
Oh, I wish.
There's someone learning from somebody.
But my Sunday, I had a really good Sunday. I had a really good Sunday. I went to the markets in the morning.
Yeah, Redcliffe Markets.
Yeah, so I woke up and I went to
They
get
have
some.
potato slinkies
I went to
there.
get some shots up, and then I was driving there. My booking got cancelled. They had an event on. That's fine.
Oh, that's
Booking.
cooked.
I was getting some shots up.
Oh, Morayfield. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So okay, just DDoS us.
Hey?
You just doxed us.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry.
So I turn around. I go to the markets. Markets was really fun. I got some really good iced tea. I got some sugarcane juice. That's the first time I found good sugarcane juice local.
How much was it?
Like $9.50.
Yeah, but
Bro, the less ice you asked for, they added like $2 every
Yeah.
single time.
But that's the price. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I went no ice because I wanted more juice, but I
Correct.
should have done the next one up just to have it a little bit
25%
colder.
ice. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have done that. Had some bao. There was a chicken satay bao which I tried. It wasn't bad. I want to try because I really like chicken satay, but if I went back there, I would just get something a bit more traditional. I tried to try something that's not really like that. And it was
Westernized,
alright,
yeah.
but just. And then I got some banh mi.
Oh my god, banh mi! How good is a banh mi?
Bro, how good is a banh mi?
Banh mi? Oh my goodness, bro.
And then I went home.
Banh mi.
I watched the Laker game,
Ooh,
which we can get into
we'll
later
skip
if
that.
we need to. It's up to you guys. And then I took Donnie to the beach, which was the first time that he's gone out and about, to a little dog beach. And he loved it. He's still getting the whole idea of like walking and kind of just wants to jump.
That's so adorable, bro.
But it was really fun. So it's been good just having more time to do stuff like hang out with the little one.
That's a really wholesome day.
It was really good. And I think I've got Sunday off again this week. So I'm going to do something again.
So do I, brother.
Brother, let's get some shots
Should
up.
we go to Redcliffe Markets?
I'm down if you're down.
I've never been, and I don't really have Sundays
Never
off.
been.
Never.
Bro, they're huge now. So last time I went, they weren't that big. But now it goes all the way from like the Como to like the RSL.
Yo, let's go. Let's go Redcliffe Markets.
Josh, calling sick.
Isn't it before 10 a.m.?
Yeah, but you get to work at like 7 when you start at 10. So.
Okay, I wake up at 8:30.
Yeah. Bro, you're in store packing orders by 8:30. I've seen you.
Well, this I have to, or else the store doesn't open. Without trucks, Australia stops.
This is so true. I said this to someone
I'm the
the other
truck.
week, and I really got myself.
I'm the truck. Stateside is Australia.
This is true. Yeah, very
Just
true.
think about that.
You said, you want to try some more traditional foods, and not to bring it back to my trip, but I had a lot of foods that I never thought I would ever eat on this trip, and I was very proud of myself. I'm not a fussy eater. Oh, no. In the context of this room, I'm not a fussy eater. Outside of this room, I'm a bit of a fussy eater, but the type of food that I was eating, you guys were seeing firsthand what kind of food I was eating.
Yeah.
The seaweed block.
The seaweed block, chicken feet, in the
Hey,
inside.
dude, wait, hold on.
Cow-
Back up. What does chicken feet taste like?
Really yum.
That's so freaky.
No, I'm being serious, bro.
Oh, you little freak.
So yum.
It just tastes like chicken skin.
Nah, that's...
And tendons, but tendons are crunchy, and they're just so flavorful.
Do you suck them or do you?
You have to
chew 'em?
suck. You have to suck some part of the chicken.
Yeah, you're Brandon Freak Silver.
Anyway, cow stomach lining. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's cooked. No.
It was so flavorful.
Well, because it's everything that's ate was in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was flavorful.
It's got a lot of grass.
That just tastes like cartilage when you're eating a chicken wing.
My favorite part of the chicken, the
cartilage. But something Phil said like a year ago
Oh yes, I cooked with this.
is what really stuck with me, and that's actually kind of what's helped me, not helped me, but it's what's made me try these things without fear. He said, if you eat things the way they're meant to be eaten and the way they're prepared, it should be good, because people wouldn't eat it if it's not good.
Facts.
And ever since you said that, I go into trying foods that I never had with a more like, actually, like, you know, that makes sense. People would not eat it if it wasn't meant to be good.
100%.
With that being said, I did not have balut this holiday, and we had a lot of opportunity to have balut.
What is that?
Balut is a duck egg. Chicken egg? Duck egg. And it's fertilized,
Yeah, the things in it.
but they
isn't it?
kill the
Yeah.
egg while the chicken's growing in it. So, and then they boil it. So they boil this egg while the fetus is in it. It's really messed up.
So it's like a week before it's, or like a couple of days before it's meant to hatch.
Yeah.
There's a chicken in the egg.
Yeah. So there's like an unborn chicken in the egg, and these guys slurp this thing. Apparently, it's a Filipino delicacy.
Oh, I have heard this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vietnamese have also made their own sort of version with it, with their own coriander and mint and stuff.
They love their coriander, bro.
Bro,
Where do you guys sit on the coriander? So here's my thing, right? What?
Go, continue talking.
So everyone says you either love or you hate coriander, and people tell me there's no in between. I'm an in between.
Yeah.
Okay, there is two sides to this coriander discussion. You have normal coriander, which is what we get in this country, regular
Yeah,
coriander,
they've got, yeah.
right? Which is great. I have never added coriander to a dish and not liked it. You can add it to anything, and even the smallest amount of coriander, you notice the difference.
See, everyone says this, but to me, it's just like I'm indifferent. Like I'll
Yeah.
eat it if it's there, but I don't care if it's not. And I've never met any, everyone's like, nah, you either love it or you hate it. Everyone just tells me I'm wrong.
Love it or hate I think is the wrong way to say. You either notice the difference or you don't. You can't really hate it. And then there's Vietnamese coriander, which is like,
Superfoods.
I cannot tell you. I can't even explain. You're going to think I'm overhyping it, but like, even half of this coriander leaf in your dish just brings out like an insane amount of flavor that you've never even tasted before.
Because the way they eat it, they don't actually cook it
Yeah.
in food. They give it to like
Fresh off the branch.
off the branch.
And you eat your food,
While you're, yeah.
and then you take a bite of the coriander. Oh, it's like just out of this world good. It's my favorite coriander.
Even the Vietnamese mint.
Vietnamese mint is the same thing. So Vietnamese people, they don't cook with the herb in it. They put the herb as a side once the food's cooked, and then you take a bite of the food, take a bite of the mint as well. On the topic, I want to say this.
Wow, Australia's #1 coriander podcast.
Yes, 100%. I want to say this as well. Going to an Asian country like Vietnam made me realize how much the Western world, Australia and every other Western country, cares about plastic versus the Asian world. We're over here sipping out of paper straws that disintegrate in your mouth after 3 sips. Costco, actually, I went to Costco this week. They've changed their cups
Really?
to these
What?
flimsy, and I mean flimsy, Josh. You know, you're a regular Costco
I'm a Costco
visitor.
guy.
I filled up my cup with 7-Up.
Oh, was it seeping
That's
through the
unlucky.
bottom by the end of it?
Josh, 3 minutes into the cupping
Oh,
thing,
that's
it was
cooked.
It was like I couldn't even grab the cup because it was folding.
That's a conspiracy. No
Right?
free refills if you can't hold the cup.
Anyway,
There's actually quite a few conspiracies to the whole eco-conscious
Oh,
stuff that we do here. I don't know if you want to get in conspiracy theories.
we should, because I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about this. Maybe it's a wrong opinion to have. I couldn't really care, but
Oh.
I look at what we do as in these Western countries to stop, the effects of plastic, and I think it's great. I think we have to do our bit, and it's our planet. We got to take care of it. When you go to these Asian countries, and you see just the amount of plastic that they just use for absolutely no reason, my question to me goes: there is no way our impact in Australia, and I'm talking about the whole of Australia, is even offsetting what happens in Ho Chi Minh City alone. There is absolutely no way. Example, we ordered takeaway food on a couple of nights. All right? The takeaway food comes in a plastic bag. All right, I'll give it that standard, whatever. You got to carry it. The food itself came in a styrofoam plastic box. You open up the box, the actual dish is in another plastic bag in the styrofoam box, wrapped with a either a rubber band or like another plastic twisty. And then you take it out of the plastic bag, put it into the plastic styrofoam box, and then you go and grab your cutlery, which is individually wrapped in plastic wrapping. And your straws It's not like when you go to Macca's and the straws are already in a box and you're taking it out of the box. The straws are individually wrapped, plastic straws in plastic wrapping. And this is... Even the sauces are wrapped in plastic containers with saran wrap over so the sauce doesn't spill. And this is just one meal.
Well, to be fair, I do miss plastic straws. So.
I'm not... Yeah, that's it. I really miss them, but... And to get a gauge of how much of this is there in this country, there are hundreds of thousands of places that do the same thing. So I'm not saying that we need to not care about the earth, but my question becomes, how much of an impact are we actually having on the world if one city of 15 million people, which is 9 million people short of the entire population of Australia, is having that much impact on the world in terms of plastic?
You know, I wasn't going to get passionate on this episode because I've done it too many weeks in a row.
Let's do it.
But I consider myself to be eco-conscious. I do care about it, and I value how I manage my carbon footprint. I guess you can word it like that. Obviously, can't do everything. Like, even just in terms of like how electric cars, again, big. You know, in the research I've done, obviously electric cars have their benefit, but then apparently unless you've run your petrol car into the ground, if you already had it, then the impact of destroying those parts when you get rid of that, when you buy the electric one, actually has a worse impact. So it's like stuff like that. I don't have an electric car because I'm still driving the same car. However, in other ways, I'm all for the paper stuff. I use it. I don't really care about it. With the company Sam and I have co-founded, we value being eco-conscious in the packaging and things like that. However, I don't enjoy how the blame is put onto everyday people like us. When we've got
preach.
When we've got celebrities with private jets for 10-minute flights that
100%.
You know, like Kylie Jenner's private jet, one flight of that is like matches our yearly carbon footprint. But
And I'm chucking Taylor Swift into this. I'm calling out Taylor Swift.
Actually, she's not top 15.
Taylor Swift, you're on the same boat.
Travis Scott's number one.
This is from Brandon DeSilva.
Travis Scott's up there.
Travis Scott's number one.
Josh and Phil don't have anything to do with this comment. Taylor Swift, you're in on this comment. Please continue.
Regular listener
Look, just
Taylor Swift.
private jets and all those celebrities in general have a far more severe impact than we do. But again, the blame's put on us and they're not held accountable. Even with all of the recycling initiatives that we do, are encouraged to do, introduced to us, in research that I've done, I don't know if this has changed because this is a couple years old, but something like over 70% of the recycling we do ends up in landfill anyway.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That also...
I've heard that.
Yeah, so like I said, conspiracy theory before, a lot of people that believe that that's a way for big corporations to shift the blame onto us, while the stuff like, you know, all the shit that big corporations can be doing that are harmful for the environment. Again, it comes down to everyday people who have the small impact.
Yeah.
That does bother me. But at the same time, I do my part.
Yeah.
I control what I can control. And I sleep well at night knowing that.
I think you touch on a very good point, which is like, and I think this is where I need to fix my thinking a little bit. My thinking has to go from, what impact is mine having? And my impact's not offsetting the global thing. My thinking should go from that to whether or not my impact is actually doing anything, I'm still doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, I
You know what I mean?
I support that mindset.
Yeah. And
It adds up. Like I said, I don't think it's about offsetting something.
Yeah, correct.
It's about, you know, your morals and your values, and are you doing what you believe is the right thing, and if you're educated on the topic.
I agree. I think because, and that's where I think I don't want to say my thinking's flawed, because it's very easy to think that way. But that's where I think my thinking can become a little better, is because if everyone thought the same way as me, which is, I'm not offsetting anything, we wouldn't get any better. The flip side of that is if everyone had the other mindset, which is, let's just do your bit regardless of whether your 1% is going to make the 99% better. If everyone thought that way, it would actually make a difference.
Yeah, and that's why, like, we have this conversation. We have this conversation between ourselves often, but that's where for a lot of issues like activism and starting the conversation comes into play, and spreading awareness. Because, you know, I'm like that with a lot of things that I'm passionate about. There's a lot of things I care about that most people don't want to talk about, but I still...
Like what?
Political things. We don't have to get into it. But there's things that, like, majority of people where we're from aren't talking about that I still care about because I want to do my part. I can't force everyone to care. I can't force everyone to donate. I can't force everyone to spread awareness.
Yep.
But I do my part. And that's my mentality with all of these things.
We're getting into a very good point. And I think it's important that I'm not criticizing people who don't wish to share, or even I'm not criticizing people who don't wish to share an opinion, but I do feel a certain way about people who don't seek education on certain things. I think it's fine if you wish to not publicly or make your opinion known on any sort of issue, but to put a lack of an opinion down to uneducation is a bit
It's lazy.
sad. Yeah.
We talked
Yeah,
about this a
a
little bit
little
in the
bit.
episode Josh
Yeah.
missed. I'm going to see what you think about it as well, Josh. But
Let me in.
it's one thing to be unaware. And then it's another for someone to make you aware, and then for you to decide that that's not your problem and that you don't need to know about it. No, like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, there's a difference between not having an understanding, but then once you've been informed, I don't know. It's a bit like not cowardly, but like it's a bit selfish.
I think it's spineless. I think we can
Yeah.
throw that word out, because at the end of the day, when you educate yourself, your role is to make up your opinion and your decision based on your morals, your ethics, what you value, what you think is best for other people. You're completely entitled to have your own opinion, whether we agree or disagree. But to not have one, I think it's weak. I don't have an issue with saying that. I think it's extremely lazy.
I'll pause you there. It's lazy if you've been made aware of it.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah,
If you
that's what I
you
mean.
don't know what you don't know.
Fair enough, yeah.
If I came and told you that this happened down the road the other week and you had no idea, I can't be mad at you. But if you're
Correct.
like, nah, doesn't affect me.
Correct.
That's where I have an issue with it.
Yeah, that doesn't affect me is the thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem. Whether it's because at the end of the day, to me, where I see it, it all comes down to humanity. Whether it's the eco-conscious stuff we're talking about, whether it's this world conflict, whether it's this event that happened in this country, whatever it is, it comes down to humanity and how you value yourself and other people. Other people being the big one. If you don't care about issues that are destroying the world or destroying the environment or destroying this place, you just to not care about the issue at all, no matter what you believe in, you openly don't care about other people.
Correct. And I think on that topic and on this topic, you have the ability, and as Phil said, you can have whatever opinion you have, right? As long as it's founded in my thing is, as long as your opinion is founded in what you believe in and not I heard this on Twitter and that's what I believe in, I don't respect that. If you have an opinion and it's based on I heard this on Twitter and you've done no sort of if your opinion is based because of what someone told you and you've not done any sort of research or you don't believe it, that's where I kind of question it. But regardless, your opinion doesn't have to be the same as everybody. Just to have an opinion shows that you care.
Yes.
To some
yes.
to some degree. And I'm not saying you have to deep it. I'm not saying you have to spend every hour of your day thinking about a conflict in the world or a situation that's happening. And the most successful and the most, I think, strong friendships groups are people who can respect your opinion, have discussions about it, and you might not necessarily change anybody's opinion, because the older you get, you realize that it's harder to change someone's opinion. They're grounded in their own morals, ethics, beliefs, religious, non-religious, whatever. But it's having a common ground of, look, I might not agree with you. I might think your opinion is silly or stupid, but at least you've done some critical thinking behind the opinion you have. I think that's the important thing.
Yeah, and the conversation's the powerful part.
Yeah.
Not all of us can donate. Not all of us can protest. Not all of us can go and be an activist. There's limitations to all sorts of different ways that you think you can contribute to different things. But everyone in one way or another can communicate it with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think completely avoiding that is where I lose a lot of respect.
Yep. And if you feel like you can't communicate your opinion to the people around you, this is more on a more personal sort of relationship side. If you feel like you have a group of friends you can't communicate your values to without it being disrespected, that's a conversation you should have with them, because you should be able to say what you believe to a friend and have a adult conversation about it. I'm not saying that you're not going to get backlash or you're not going to get
It's just
friction
more
about
like
it.
immaturity from
Yeah.
the friend's behalf,
100%.
more than like disagreeing with the opinion.
Fully. And if you're in that situation where you feel like you can't voice an opinion in a group, I would urge you to either ask yourself why that is, try and change it, and if you can't, look around you and ask yourself if that's a group you want to surround yourself with, because having a different opinion isn't the wrong thing, but having people who don't want you to share a different opinion is the wrong thing. Yeah. With that being said, I think it's important that, and I know it's hard to do when you're a young person, because I was having a conversation with someone today about how friendships are a crazy thing, because if someone came to me in year 12, 1 year, 2 year out of high school and said, you know, XYZ is going to be the issue that you're going to face with your friendship and you have to get over it, I would not believe them, because sometimes I think friendships are more blinding than relationships, where when things are great, you go, nah, I'm never going to.
And you're an expert on both now, eh?
Whoa.
Bro's compared Bro's gonna be able to.
I don't know what you are talking about.
He's been able to compare them both.
Why'd you say now? Anyway.
Oh, did I?
Moving on.
was thinking
Silly, you Phil.
I was thinking about my tattoo. The time is now.
Loading.
What I was going to say is, yeah, sometimes they can be more blinding than a relationship, because your friends, most of the time, you know longer than someone that you want to date or you are dating. And when things are going good, you're like, oh, no, it's good. If someone came to me 4 years ago and said, oh, these are the issues you're going to find in your friendship group, I would not believe them in any way, shape, or form. I wouldn't even give that person, like, even 5% of, like, oh, they might be right. But, I do find that if you're younger and you're listening to this, and an older person's giving you advice on a friendship, not a relationship, but a friendship.
Because Brandon doesn't have the commitment or the service or the experience to give relationship advice.
Yeah, I'm not qualified to give relationship advice.
You can give friendship advice. He's a great friend. What I can give as
friendship advice is really, really listen to them, because I've found in my life that the friendship advice that I have been given has come true.
This actually reminds me, I was having a really good conversation with someone earlier today about this. When you're, if you need advice on friendships or relationships, take it from people that have experience and that you trust their opinion, and don't take it from people that you wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
That's such a big W.
Well, yeah, like...
Such a target, bro.
Such a target.
That's so real, though.
A lot of people give unsolicited advice, and 99% of the time it's in, like... It's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But if you're facing relationship troubles and someone's not experienced something that you have, I would probably advise to not take the advice, because you just don't know if you haven't been through it. And same thing, if you're having troubles with your friendships, get advice from people that are in strong friendships, but not someone that can't hold down a friend.
Feel like if you don't go to someone that has the same experiences, it's them just kind of saying what you want to hear more than...
Yeah,
like
100%.
This is what actually you should be doing, or what I can do for you.
It's like it's the same as anything. You go to the right place to look for your answers, and it shouldn't change in that. But I think
Broken Heart Burgers is mine.
Well, a lot of people just entrust people in a lot of things, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but just know what you're looking for and what you're trying to get out of it.
Wow.
What do you guys think about like, you have people who can't keep friendships. Sometimes it can be... Say it again. What? Who? Oh.
Whoa, buddy.
Yeah, interesting. Wait, come and think about it. No.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress.
Yeah, so, I think that says more about the person than the situation. Because there's a common denominator. And if you choose to overlook that common denominator, it's a bad thing.
Right.
I want to asterisk this, though.
I'm about to sound like LeBron.
Before we go on, I want to asterisk this.
Okay. This is my favorite saying, but you go first.
It's very short asterisk.
Yep.
If you are choosing to, leave friends, and it's an active choice, this person's morals don't align with mine to a great degree. This person's lifestyle doesn't aid me, or I don't get. I'm not a better person with this person in my life. By all means, you have every right to
right to pull out.
Yeah, make that intentional decision. But if people are pulling out of your life without it's not your decision.
Wait, hold on. Out of your butt.
What?
I wasn't listening.
We're having a very legit conversation. This guy makes a butt joke.
No, you made it. No, it happened over there. Happened on that side of the court.
What I was saying is, if people are pulling out of your life and it's not a decision that you're making, I did not say that. Yeah. I would be asking myself the question, why is this the case? Now continue.
That's my favorite saying.
Thank you, because I forgot what I was going to say. I have a saying that I really like. If you go out and you meet an arsehole one day, you just met an arsehole. If you go out and you meet 100 arseholes, you're the arsehole.
That's my favorite saying.
That's my favorite saying.
Very good saying.
Because the amount, how do I want to word this? People that go out and have an issue with somebody every single day of their life. Like, you cannot possibly have a conflict with a different person every single day.
It's tiring.
Like,
No.
you physically cannot
Yeah.
operate that way. If
Yeah.
you are, like, you have to be the problem.
There's a common denominator. There is, yeah.
Exactly. There's no way everyone's got this random issue with you.
Yeah, yeah.
In this big world where we just play a tiny little role.
Yeah, and I think it's a very narcissistic mentality to have because you're telling people care so much about you that everybody is going around saying, oh, I'm seeing this person, I'm going to go out of my way to have an issue with them. Like, no one cares that much. Some people do.
It's just not that serious,
Yeah.
you know?
Some people do.
Take a chill pill.
Some
not that
people,
deep.
some people will for sure look at you and be like, "Oh, I want to make this person's life a misery," and that's legit.
That's some full-time hating.
But
That's
not
crazy.
everybody will think
No.
that way. No one does.
And you probably shouldn't be thinking that way.
Yeah, I did a personality test recently just to see kind of what my personality was.
BuzzFeed personality test.
Was it on BuzzFeed?
You
No,
should
it
do a
was some
purity
website.
test next.
And I got my main personality type was authoritative. I'm a very authoritative person, like in a personality.
Interesting.
friendship. Yeah. I don't know whether that's a good thing or bad thing, but
No, neither. It's just
I
sparked
will-
a thought.
I related to it. I was like, oh, fair enough. I see myself being, like if someone I like to, but and even in my other friendship groups, I see it. It's a bit, I like to say, I reckon this is the way we should do it.
Like the
Yeah.
group leader, Turkish Quandale Dingle.
And it. He's brought up the Riz party meme. You may as well just go and get your ninja low table fade joke
Give
on
my
now.
gat.
I'm so lippy done with this show.
Let me done with this. I'm sorry. This was shaping up to be one of the better episodes until he said that.
No, that didn't ruin it. Your
No,
butt
it
jokes are
didn't.
ruining
I'm
it.
joking. My butt joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that personality test, they ask you a range of questions, and one of those questions made me question a certain type of person that I just don't understand, and I want to understand.
Like a type of person or a particular one?
Yeah.
A type of person.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
okay.
people fit. I know a lot of people fit into.
Do you want to
this
name
category.
someone you know that is like that?
I don't know if I know anyone specifically, but I've heard of people. In this way.
Uh-huh.
And those are sympathy criers.
I didn't know that's where we're going with this.
What is
Okay.
that? I don't even know what that is.
So-
Explain, define.
I've not heard of this.
There were a lot of questions in the personality test where the people were like, "Oh, like you feel extremely emotional for somebody else's situation," and I'm like, "That's fine. I think that's empathy. Is that or sympathy?
Shit.
I always get
Empathy's
confused.
when you're understanding, sympathy's when you just feel sorry for them, I think.
I'm an empath.
Okay, so sympathy.
Shit.
Yeah,
I
never.
promise I'm smarter than this.
Yeah.
We
Anyway.
got our tech guy on the Google. We'll get you an answer in 2 seconds.
Anyway, my point is, that's not a bad thing. I think you have to have some sort of a heart as a human. You should feel, even though if you can't feel like you can't relate to something.
I do remember though, empathy's more important, valuable. I'm pretty sure.
For sure.
Between the two.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have the answer, Aaron?
So empathy is shown.
Hold on. Take a mic.
So it's defined as empathy being in how much compassion and understanding we can give to one another, whereas sympathy is more about feeling pity for another.
Dap me up, boys.
I'm an empath.
I'm telling you, brother. I know this shit.
So-
I do this shit.
Fellow empath.
When I was doing this personality test, it had a lot of questions around these two topics, and one of them was, when something sad happens, you feel a need to cry or show an emotion based off somebody else's situation you may not be experiencing. And my answer was strongly disagree. That's just not me. But it made me question. Not A, why is that a thing, and B, do people intentionally do it to make the other person feel better? And how would that make that person feel? There were kind of 3 questions that I asked myself. So
I don't think I've ever even experienced someone do that. It's just weird to think about. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but I can't think of any time anyone has ever cried on behalf of me because they felt bad.
I agree, and
It's different in certain scenarios, like family and
Mm.
relatives together. It's
correct.
I'm not going to count that, but
Correct.
I've never told a friend yo, this is what happened, and they started bawling.
I think there's an asterisk to this comment that I'm making. People who work in medical fields, people who deal with very very grave situations, like with children who
retail.
Yeah, retail. You can put that. People who deal with like sick children and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you're dealing with a kid that has cancer and it's like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid.
Trauma workers.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're crying because of the situation, fair enough. Like that's a horrible situation.
In that scenario, it would be hard to not get attached.
Yeah,
to
correct.
Like someone personal.
But I'm more not questioning, but I kind of want to understand how it works with someone goes, oh, my dog died, and you go, oh, that's sad, but is it sad enough for somebody else to cry for you?
No, I would be kind of confused at first because again, I've never experienced this. Especially like if I wasn't crying at the time, like is that how it works? Like
yeah. So
am I crying as well?
I came to you and said, hey, Josh, like if my mood's a little bit down, my dog just died,
and you're crying.
You say I wasn't crying, but I was tearing up.
Yeah.
Like maybe I was crying. Say I was crying.
Because if you're crying,
I'm crying. My dog died.
I think it's more understanding if you're crying that would make the other person react in a similar way. But if I'm just like, yeah, my dog died, I'm okay, and then the other person just like started bawling their eyes out, I've been like, that's okay.
It's not that deep, bro. Stay grounded, please.
He was 22 years old, and human years is
okay. Very good point.
But like again, depends who it is. Like, I don't know. I'd kind of find it comforting, maybe. Like, we're just having a cry here, just two real brothers.
Which nothing wrong with it, by the way. Nothing wrong with crying. I do think as a man, you should only laugh once a day. There's nothing else to laugh about.
That's insane.
As a man, there should be nothing else fun in your life. You should laugh once a day.
It ain't shit funny.
I know Phil
funny.
cries on behalf of Adonis in Rocky in Creed. Does that count?
I guess I can give two perspectives on the sympathy crier topic. Like if I'm not a sympathy crier at all.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah.
So if I had to try understand why someone would be, I would imagine most of the times the situations we're talking about, you're pairing two people. One's really, really in touch with their emotions, and one's not in touch with their emotions at all. Usually, is that fair to say? Usually, a lot of people that aren't in touch with their emotions have developed some sort of strength from things that they've been through.
Yep.
I think that's fair to say.
Yep.
I feel that way about myself.
Yep,
I feel
correct,
quite
same.
strong because of the things I've endured.
Yep.
Whereas someone who's more in touch with their emotions, and this isn't a generalization or a blanket statement because, like, I'm not putting it on anyone, but it could be the case that that person hasn't endured as much, so they don't have much resilience towards the topic of conversation, if that makes sense.
I agree.
So that I can see how that emotionally might overwhelm them more than the other person in that moment. Like if I had to try and understand why someone would, I think that's how it would work. For me, I wouldn't appreciate sympathy crying. If I was like, if someone's sympathy crying for me, I don't think I would appreciate it.
Anybody.
Sorry?
Like anybody. Like,
if someone did it for me?
yeah, like is there an exception
I think
for
there's
anyone?
like family, maybe.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
if you tell your
like a
family and
mom,
everyone starts
maybe,
crying,
you know what
I
I
would be
mean?
like,
Oh, if someone I
Yeah.
like really care about, starts crying, I'm not going to say
yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
But like,
But
I
I'm
was
just-
like, if I was telling like a work colleague about my weekend, I did something like that wasn't as exciting, a bit more upsetting. Went to a funeral. That's why I had the day off. Something like that, for example. And I started crying there. I'd be like, okay, well, like work colleagues.
Well, I think for me, where I see, I'm thinking of just like as a generalization. I appreciate empathy a lot. Like if I were to open up about something I've been through or something I endured, and someone told me like, that sounds really heartbreaking. Like that's really hurtful to hear about. If someone tells me that they think I'm strong for getting through that, things like that, I really appreciate that. I can't express that
Tell
enough.
me that for sure.
But whenever I think about that in personal situations, strength comes with growth, which is why I feel like I've grown a lot. So if someone were to cry on my behalf, I personally feel like I've grown past the point of that being the emotion attached to those memories.
Okay.
So that's why, I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's why I feel like I wouldn't appreciate if someone was crying on my behalf, because I've
done it,
grown past that myself. And it's, I don't know, I think it's like,
I see where you're going.
It's a sad and a hurt emotion, but that's not where I'm at with, said topic.
Not appropriate.
So it feels like
anymore.
almost like a step backwards to, I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
I get you.
Yeah,
That's
because
clever.
like you've come to terms with it.
Yeah.
So what are you crying for? It's not your issue.
Yeah, honestly, in simplest terms, that's
Yeah.
kind of how I would feel.
And I think
I
that's
think,
fair.
and I don't know if that's a dumb way to put it, but
But in the same breath, I'm on the flip side of that, right? Where, and it's sometimes I feel it's to the wrong spectrum where someone can tell me something really sad, and I feel like I'm not reacting how they would want me to react, purely because my mentality is like, that's sad and it sucks, but it's not my issue to
Yeah,
make my own.
We've like spoken about that, like reactions and
Yeah,
like-
but there's two sides to it. There's like
Oh.
there's someone like Phil who goes, he's cool with someone
Mm.
going, hearing the good things, saying I'm sorry
Yes.
for your loss or for what happened, whatever. But then you have the flip side to it where someone might go, oh, I told this person, and they kind of acted like they didn't care.
But you know what, though? In terms of, say, us being the people that don't get extremely emotional reacting to some news like that from someone else, I don't think it has to be a negative. So for me, one thing that I've been trying to get better at, again, I'm not someone that can, like, I can't cry if you tell me about something really bad that happened to you.
yeah.
I'm with you.
But my personality type, I always wanted to be a problem solver. Like, I wanted to give you the answers. I'm getting better at learning when advice is needed and wanted, or when sometimes they do just need to be heard, and I think I can have that conversation where they do just need to be heard. But at the same time, if I'm not emotional in that regard to where I feel pity or sad for them, I think I can be a rock in another way where I keep using the word strong, but I genuinely do feel strong for things that I've been through, that I think that's another perspective I can give someone that maybe someone else can't. So in a way, that's like, I always talk about gifts when I've gone through things, I take lessons from it. That's like a gift that I think I've earned that I can give to other people.
Yeah.
So like, if
I agree.
you need someone to cry with you, I'm honestly probably not the right person unless we're really close on an emotional level.
Yeah.
But if you need someone to feel like you have the ability to get through it, I think I could empower you in that kind
And
of
I'm with
conversation.
you. And I think actually you nail that. You nail that. With a very small group of people, or very few people, I'm with you, and you're probably the same, where I will be able to cry with you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh,
But,
yeah.
and I'm talking like your closest of closest friends, your family, and maybe a significant other.
Yeah,
That
that's
you've
like
been-
the
that you've
only
known
people
for
I
years.
can think of that
Yeah.
would even come close.
But other than that, I'm there to let you know that I'm there to support you. More than anything, I'm there to help you get through it, whether that's through advice, logical, whether you like a logical solution or not. If you don't like a logical solution, and I'm asterisking this for, again, a significant other or a family member, don't come to me. I'm being
No,
honest.
it's just how
No,
you
that's
said
fair,
it. It's
though.
just
That
how you
is-
said it. It
I'm
just
being
got
honest.
me.
If a significant
Yeah.
other, sometimes like your I'll say girlfriend because we're all men here. Your girlfriend wants to tell you something. Sometimes they don't want to hear the logical explanation. They just want a listening ear.
But that's
to hear that.
yeah, and that's not a situation where I expect them to come and
Yes.
talk to me. Where
It's a
like,
different thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
But if it's, as you said, a work
I guess
colleague,
there's some bad decision making from people. Like, why are you telling me this? Like, this should be talking to your significant other. Like, go talk to your family.
even you boys, if you boys had to come to me one day and say something that troubled you, even though I may be able to give you a logical answer,
Some guidance.
I wouldn't do it at that point in time. I'd be like,
Hmm.
no, this person, he just needs me to listen to him.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, and that's why I said when you first mentioned that thing about don't come to me, I'm like, that's fair. It's, you do have different ways. Everyone's got their own unique and individual way of helping other people and how they do that. And that's why, like, if I was going through something, or any, like, if I'm going through things, plural, there's different things that I would go to you to talk about. And then there's different things I would go to Josh to talk about. And it's happened in the past, even over the last 2 years. There's conversations I've only had with Josh and not with you, and vice versa. And that's not a like slight at any person. It's just that,
yeah, everyone brings something.
yeah, everyone brings something to the table, and your way of doing it works for some people in situations and not others. So I don't necessarily think it's a negative trait or anything that you are purely logical. It's just like there is an element to it on you, which is understanding when to be like. Sometimes if it's not the right thing to say, just don't say anything.
Yeah.
For example, but
Yep.
like at the same time, the other people that know you, if I just need to be understood emotionally, I like, again, no shot, I'm going to Josh before I go to you though.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It's just your personality type. You'll tell me how to fix it, but I might not need that straight away. I
And-
might not be ready for it.
And that's not an
Let's
offense
go,
to me.
dude.
I
I'm the
think
group
I
active listener.
think the maturity aspect is like that's the maturity of it. And again, I've come to both of you for different things at different times. Josh has given me like perspectives and like this he's spoken to me in a way that you haven't, and vice versa. You've given me stuff that Josh
Oh,
hasn't.
dude, needed to hear that.
And it's like, there have been times where I've gone to Josh and I'm like, oh, damn, like that's actually made me feel like miles better. And there's times where I've come to you and I'm like, whoa, like I was just so overcomplicating things in my head because you're very like, like this is the answer, this is what it is.
Well, that's why like this group works so well because we aren't the three of the same person.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And that works in every type of relationship. Like differences do work out, and it builds strong relationships because everything kind of comes together.
Yeah. There's there's a lot of war going on in the world, and I don't necessarily mean governmental war and political war. Yes, that's happening. I'm even spanning across war, like war in a very loose term in the rap genre, beefs and fights, and all these little things. Obviously, there's political war. There's country war.
Where is this
Needless
going?
to say, Palestine, Israel, that's happening. But there's also, in my opinion, there's like minimal war. There's war within our own individual lives. Whether you're at war with yourself or you have somebody in your life who you don't agree with, and you kind of have a friction or whatever. Yeah, like not superficial, but a more individual, personal, loosely termed war. You might have beef or whatever. Reason I bring this up is because, and I don't mind if you guys don't have an opinion or comment on this, but I just wanted to say it. We spoke a couple of weeks ago when Josh was sick about the bishop in Sydney who got stabbed, and how that was quite a big thing. He recently came back to preaching into the church, and he recovered and whatever from hospital. And I looked at the way he handled that situation, and I go, that is in my opinion, and it might be biased, maybe it is, in my opinion, that is, if I was to look at someone dealing with suffering or dealing with a negative consequence that's been brought into them for no reason, per se, that's the example that I want to follow. And the reason I'm saying this is because, I don't know if you knew, but everyone thought the knife didn't come out and whatever. He was injured, but not to the great extent. He actually lost an eye.
Yeah, right.
So one eye is completely gone. And that's a pretty scary thing. You lose an eye, it can be quite life-changing. This bishop went up, and the first preaching he had after coming out of hospital was, he didn't condemn the guy who did it. He didn't say put him to death. He didn't say you guys go kill him when he's out of prison. He didn't say any of that. What he said was, and this is a more religious thing, so you can take it how you want it, but he said to God, if my eye was a sacrifice for you, let it be that way. And I still want this person to learn his lesson and change his life without any sort of permanent consequence to his life. And I know I'm looking at a micro situation. I'm going, I think that's a great way to look at it. But I just want to make a thing and saying, I just feel like if we could look at every situation of war, whether it's governmental, personal, between someone in our lives, or even something in between either of those extremes, and base the way we react off an action like that, where this person goes, look, I've lost an eye. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty big thing. And for him to stand up there and say, and like really just show that it's actually not the end of the world, and still wish good upon the perpetrator, the person who did that to him. If you are someone of faith or someone who's looking for, I guess, answers on how to navigate a situation in your life, if it's a situation of war or conflict, I would urge you to look no further than that, and don't base your reactions off media promoted war, conflict, things that make news companies and media more rich because of the doom and gloom. There is definitely good stories still in the world that exist where you can put yourself last in some aspects and still have a good outcome. I just wanted to say
Can that be applied to every situation and scenario? Because obviously I'm not really up to date with. I saw what happened with the bishop, and I saw he came back, and how kind of tragic the whole thing was. But I do think there is other cases where you can't really put that logic on.
I think if I'm being honest with you, I think that logic can be put on every case, but every case some cases it's harder to do that, and it's very hard to do that.
Yeah.
And so to answer your question, yes, it can be put on every case. Is it easy to put on every case as easy as it is on every case? No, not at all. Some cases are it is extremely, extremely, extremely hard to put that logic and to act out the logic on every case.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind was, I think the week before we had the Sydney incident, and I just I probably need to spend some more time with that perspective, but I just can't put that perspective on that victim.
Yeah,
especially like his audience. Like he was intentionally targeting certain people, women.
correct. Yeah.
And I think he did die, so it's obviously you can't have the full perspective, but
yeah.
I just try and think of like the families, and like one of them was visiting on holiday from overseas and stuff like that. I just like, I don't think you can forgive someone like that, especially when he succeeded in what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I think I see the point you're making. I do think it's unfair to try and say it can be applied to every situation when us three sitting here have never lived half of these situations. We hopefully never will live half of these situations.
That's fair.
But yeah, like Josh bringing up the Bondi attack and the man that killed all those women. I'm the same. Like I fail to see like that as a particular example how you could apply that logic. And I know it comes down to differences of beliefs. Like this is not to reopen the can of worms from that episode a long time ago, but we've talked a lot about forgiveness, and people that listen to the show, a bunch of different opinions I listen to. And I think coming from a religious background versus not coming from a religious background, obviously forgiveness is something that's really valuable and important to you guys. And I think once I sat and thought about that, where I realized my difference of beliefs was coming from in that conversation we had that I didn't realize in the moment, I think and I don't mean to speak on Catholics when I'm not Catholic, but I think to you guys there's forgiveness, and then to not act with forgiveness is almost an act of unforgiveness.
Correct.
Whereas I don't believe that. I don't think forgiveness has to be unforgiving. I do think there is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
To sit in. And that's just personally what I believe in. And that's why I think with these situations like that, which is just a tragic, traumatic, evil thing that occurred, I personally, that's why I don't see that you have to, like, something like that. I don't think there has to be forgiveness. I just don't see the necessity for it, because I think there is room to sit with what happened.
I know where you're coming from, and you deliver it very well. Actually, you deliver it very well.
I've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah, you did deliver it very well.
It was same with me, because after that episode, I feel like I didn't explain my thoughts as well as I wanted to, and then a lot of people had opinions, and I wish I could have those conversations with those people.
This is what it's for. I mean, to touch on what, and I'm not here to give a theology lesson, right? But
go for it. We've got time.
To touch on what you said, I think part of the reason why I'm going to say Catholics, so I can't talk for Christians, but on Catholics, you said, something so evil was done to someone who doesn't deserve it. Who does that remind you of? Something so evil was done to someone that doesn't deserve it.
Me.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And above all, what did that man still do on the cross? One of his last words before his last breath was...
was it Jesus?
Yeah,
was that the answer? Sorry.
Yeah, it took me a second as well.
I thought we were talking about someone else. Yeah.
His last words, one of his last words was, "Forgive them, for they don't know what they do." Whether you think, what he said was true or not, he was an innocent man. He did nothing, a single thing wrong. In the true word of the word innocence, even if you remove it from a spiritual side, innocent. And something so evil was done to him. Yet, the last few words of his life on earth was, "Forgive them, for they don't know what they do." And to me, as I said, it is very hard in our natural human state, because none of us are God, to do that. But it shows me that it is possible. It is possible.
Do we want to get into it?
Let's do it. Why not?
Okay. So I do not participate, practice, or believe in any religion at this current point in my life, but for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to step into yours. I believe Jesus had an agenda. He had a role to fulfill in his society.
Basketball.
Yeah, it just got me. Yeah.
I think, I understand what you're saying, but I think when it does come to humanity, I understand that he is like top dog. This is our guy, right?
He may be the greatest person to ever live in the history of the world.
Sure.
Not may, he is, sorry.
Yeah. Sure. But
LeBron.
to me, humanity is the collection and accumulation of all the people, emotions, events, everything that happens in society that I personally don't believe one person's gonna make it black and white and decide the end all be all, personally. So when I say he had an agenda, if he lived 40 years of life preaching this message and these messages and these teachings, and then this happens to him, and then it, you know, let's just say he felt negative emotions inside him. I understand.
Which he did. He definitely did.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
So if he stood on the cross, hung on the cross and said, stuff these guys, this is bullshit, kill them all, it would have undone everything that he did in his life.
He had every reason to do it, though, but he didn't.
But it would have... no, see? I think he had more to lose and more to gain. That's why I'm saying he had an agenda.
He had more to lose and more to gain.
I see.
He had
Yeah.
more to lose than gain. If he did that, it would have undone everything, and we're not...
And
I'm tapping into your world where
You know-
the stories happened.
You know what? Yeah, okay.
I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be of the same belief of you for the context.
Yeah.
If he did that after living these 40 years and everything that happened, it undoes everything, and we're not talking about him today.
Yes, because that wasn't his purpose on Earth. He had a purpose.
He had an agenda.
No, agenda's different. He had a purpose. He came to show people that even they're going to persecute me for doing nothing wrong.
Did he know this was going to happen?
Well,
Like,
yes,
did he know this was gonna
because
happen
in
in
the
his
Garden of Gethsemane, before he was arrested for the passion, he said, and people think, Jesus willingly went and got crucified. He was the one of the last words before he got arrested was he was praying to God, and he said, if it's your will to let this cup pass from me, please take it away from me. But if it's not your will, and if your will is to continue with the crucifixion, let it be your will. So he didn't willingly say, kill me.
Take me.
He was human in every aspect of. He was when they say sweating blood, and he sweated drops of blood. He more than anybody did not want this to happen because he knew what was going to happen to him, but he put his will last because he knew that if it was the will of the Lord, God wanted this to happen, this cup would not pass from him. And when you say what did he have to lose, my answer to you in a very just more
No, I'm saying he had more to lose.
Yeah. He did have more to lose,
Yeah.
which is, we believe, the souls of every human being on the history of the world. Because that to him...
Whoa, hold on. I'm just wrapping my head around the idea that this all happened. So why would every soul have... Like, this is some Infinity War shit. Why would every soul have eradicated if he
Because if
cussed
he...
out the...
If he
was it
didn't...
the Germans?
If he didn't die, right?
No, that was me.
That was a bit of
Jesus died to save all
Oh,
of
Romans?
us.
Wait, who killed... Like,
The Romans.
Romans, okay.
Jesus died to save all of us. We believe that, right? Without him conquering death, rising from the dead, our life ends at death. Death is the end. There's no hope after death. So him on the cross is not, and he suffered the physical wounds, the whips, the nails, everything that came with the crown of thorns, everything.
Is that a Rihanna song?
What did he have to
That was a
lose?
Jack Harlow song.
What did he have to lose? He was on the cross because he didn't want to lose you. He didn't want to lose Lou. He didn't want to use Aaron. He didn't want to lose me. He didn't want to lose even the people who don't believe in him. That's what he didn't want to believe. That's what he didn't want to lose.
That's you,
He's
mate.
calling me out, Josh.
And to the day you die, he did not want to lose you.
Hmm.
And that's what he didn't want to lose. That's why he went through, and his prayer before he got arrested was, I don't want to do this, Lord. I really don't. You know in my heart of hearts I don't want to do this. But if it is your will, if this is your cup you're giving me, if it's not the will to let this cup pass from me, don't let it pass from me.
So is my life valued equally to, let's say there's me, a 9/11 firefighter, and then the guy that stabbed all those women in Bondi? Does Jesus value all of us equally?
Value, you mean before or after your actions?
We all die. I understand the whole purgatory, so I'm not talking the context of that. Are all of our lives valuable?
Every single
To the
life,
same, like, are we in the same
Phil,
tier of value?
every single life is valuable. You can't ask that
That's-
question. You can't ask that question without saying remove the judgments out of it. It's because every life is valuable.
No, but purgatory is a whole process. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about how he looks at us.
Yep. Every single life.
So
every
we're
single
all
life is
equally valuable.
Every single life is valuable.
I'm not getting behind that.
You have to understand that
guys.
before people make an evil decision, what are they? Before they make an evil decision, what are they?
This guy was already fucked up.
But before he makes an evil decision or action, what is he? He's not made the evil decision yet. Give it a year before he makes his evil decision, right? He's not done anything hypothetically wrong up until he's done this. Up until he's made this decision. A year before his decision, what is he? Is he
So
valued?
are we talking about the bit where he turns evil is the act where he went to Bondi and he decided he's going to kill all those people?
Well, enacting on an act, you have acted on an evil thought or an evil you've done something evil.
Because we talked about this in the episode. Josh wasn't here, where there was history to it, and he had history of hating women and having research on how to murder people.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't just snap I'm evil. This was planned. So what was the turning point?
People have evil exists. People have evil in them. A few people have evil in them. In the eyes of God, we believe everyone has life is life. It's not saying somebody who has a disability, I'm just saying, has a less value of life than somebody.
I wouldn't argue that they do, because that's not an act.
Life is life. It's an equal. You have an equal value to life, no matter where you've come from.
I disagree.
No matter what you've done, you have an equal value to life.
I will sit here and say that dude that killed everyone isn't worth shit compared to any of us in this room.
And look, I understand where you come from. That I'm not going to say that it's a insanely wrong opinion to have.
Well, I'm just trying to say, like, you know, rewind to the previous topic. You admittedly come from a logical perspective with all these things. Let's be logical about it. We can't sit here. I think it's naive to act like we're equally valuable to that guy or vice versa.
But what are you equating value to?
How Jesus views us, apparently.
Jesus views every single.
And I think that's the flaw.
Example: Jesus was crucified with two people next to him. They were both thieves. They were both criminals. Right?
And we have no idea who they are. So where's the value in that?
No, but now you're discussing legitimacy, not value. Let me continue. He was crucified with two people next to him. They were both thieves, both criminals. One criminal next to him said to Jesus, "If you're the Son of God, get down from the cross and prove that you're the Son of God. If you're the Son of God, you can do it." He started mocking him and whatever. The other guy on his right-hand side said to the other guy, the other criminal, "What are you talking about? We deserve what we've done because we've done something wrong. This guy's done absolutely nothing wrong, and he's got worse off of a consequence than we have." And then he looked at Jesus and said, "If I die today, remember me when you come into your kingdom," right? So, and what did Jesus say at that point in time? He didn't say, I'll tell you.
I don't fucking know.
He didn't tell that criminal.
Said, "I'll see you later, buddy."
He didn't tell that criminal who was a thief, rapist, whatever he did, because he was crucified. It was quite a serious, whatever. I don't know what he did.
Pen.
He didn't tell him, "No, sorry, you committed a crime. You're not coming into my kingdom." He told that thief who said to him, "I know that I did wrong." He said to him, "Today you'll be with me in paradise."
No, but see,
So
he voluntarily put himself on that level, right?
No. But to me, right? If you take that example, you have Jesus who, if you don't want to believe it, let's say he did nothing wrong, and you have two criminals next to him. Every reason to tell the two criminals, "Now you did something wrong. A crime's a crime. You did something wrong. Your life is actually valued less than mine. I'm an innocent man." Jesus himself, who was the guy getting persecuted, told the criminal who deserved to have that death or that torture, "Your life is just as valuable as mine, and I'm the Son of God, and I've done nothing wrong."
Well, if we want to go back to having a logical mindset about these things, just because he did it doesn't mean it's right.
What do you mean?
Just because Jesus said, "Let's all die together and go to paradise," whatever that looks like, doesn't mean that it's correct for the rest of eternity. Just because he did it.
So
if I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that.
Isn't Paradise the shopping centre on Savage Paradise?
Pack fair.
So
No, that's where Stateside.
I understand that he's this perfect, glorious, handsome hunk of a man that can do no wrong. Okay?
Okay, calm down, buddy.
No, I understand. But just because he does something, I don't think that should be the standard for the rest of the time just because he's him.
But it's a good act. So why would you not base
I don't believe it's a good act. I personally don't. I don't
So
think...
valuing somebody's life as equal is not a good act.
And here's the other thing. We're talking, they stole something. I don't give a shit. I'm talking about murderers, rapists.
No, these guys were. You didn't get crucified for stealing a loaf of bread. You got crucified. It was a very bad.
By the
thing.
sounds of it, you might.
Death
It was
penalty.
that was the whole thing. They crucified Jesus for nothing, like absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm saying...
was the worst
Yeah.
It's the death
I will
penalty.
sit here and I would personally admit that someone that murders, rapes, anything in that realm, I do believe that their life is much less valuable than anyone
Very.
like us. I don't think there's anything wrong in saying if someone's going to if someone's going to sit here or listen to this show and come up to me and say, "Hey, I really think you fucked up when you said, oh, that rapist isn't a good person or that rapist deserves to die."
No, it's
I don't
different.
give a
It's
shit.
different. It's different. I agree with you. The rapist isn't a good person. He's not a good person. It
I'm
doesn't
saying
mean-
he deserves
it
to die.
It
And
doesn't.
Retail
Him
store
not being a good
manager.
person is different to his life being valued less, and that's what I'm trying to get at.
I don't think his life is as valuable as
How
ours.
can you put value on something? My question to you would be: how can you put such a value on something that you don't give?
Okay, then Jesus didn't give life.
Well, Jesus is God, the Holy Trinity. He's 3 in 1.
Mary gave life. If anyone, she gave birth to him. Okay, let's not get that twisted.
We're talking about God is the 3 in 1. Jesus being God. God gives life.
Oh, okay, so they've got a cop out.
Oh, it's the Trinity.
How can
It's
three
the-
people be
argue.
one? Like,
Yeah.
let's.
but now we're discussing
You're
Catholicism.
gonna get
and the
stuck in a
catechism
loop.
of
We're gonna get stuck in a
Catholicism.
loop. There's
No.
nothing answer going on here.
I think because I am part of humanity,
Yeah.
that I can objectively sit here and have an opinion on
Oh.
what that person chose to do. Life itself is valuable. If
Yeah.
you fuck it up, I can sit here and judge you for that. I don't care that I'm not God.
You have the right to have whatever opinion you want, and
Yeah,
that's true.
absolutely. I've got the right. I've got the intelligence. I've got the capabilities. I'm gonna sit here and do it.
I'm just saying from the perspective we sit at.
No, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah, and I'm not condemning you for having that opinion. You're
Thank you.
able,
I hope you
yeah.
forgive me.
Yeah, I don't.
I will.
I don't think
has
you're
to.
entitled to your opinion.
Of course, and I'm not trying to change
Yeah.
yours. I'm just saying I felt like I'm trying to step in your world and understand. I just don't get why that should be the gold standard just because he did that once.
Because it is the right thing to do. You
But why? Why is it the right thing? Because you're telling me like I can't.
because look, everybody deserves a shot at eternal paradise, eternal freedom. You're talking about eternity, and this is what I often think about. You're talking about eternity here. It's not finite. You're talking about eternity. So when you're speaking about something that is forever and ever and ever infinite, right? You're saying with free will, you have the choice to make an evil or a bad decision. People do it on a day in and a day out. Everyone has the exact same shot at eternity, and that's what we believe is we're giving you that shot at eternity. Your value, right? If you make a bad decision, you look at it from a bird's eye view. There are different levels of sin. You have a venial sin, which is like a regular sin, like a lie. Tell a lie, it's not that big of a deal. It's still a sin, technically. You steal a loaf of bread. But then you have other sins that are mortal sins, like murder, rape, adultery, that sort of stuff. There are different levels to it. If you look at it from a bird's eye view, if a venial sin is this column and a mortal sin is this column, from a bird's eye view, they're both sins, regardless. One may be.
Are you saying they're viewed equally?
I'm not saying they're viewed equally. I'm saying
Okay.
Regardless of whether what level of a sin is, a sin is a sin.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Everybody deserves a shot at eternity, and this is what we believe in. And when you talk about eternity, obviously you're talking about forever and ever and ever. You are telling that person you've sinned. Maybe you've sinned and you've messed up horribly. Maybe you've taken the lives of who knows how many people, right? If you we've had this conversation before. If you in the deepest of your souls have a longing and a realization that I have royally messed up, I want to turn my life around. I want to make it better. There's nothing you can do on earth to bring back someone's life, right?
Which is where it counts.
Yes.
That's where humans are.
This is where we differ, because life for us doesn't end on earth.
No, but
Life
this
on
is where
us-
humanity is. I understand that your soul and shit moves on. This is humanity. This is the world we've
finite.
created.
This is finite. So what this is yeah. So what we believe is, yes, if you in the deepest of soul you want to turn your life around, you still have that opportunity, and this is where purgatory comes into it. But you still have that opportunity one day, like the thief next to Jesus who was crucified for a legitimate reason, and in that moment said, "I'm wrong. I believe that I'm wrong. If you spare me, I want to be with you in paradise." And Jesus said, just because you've sinned, no matter what you've done. He didn't ask him, what sin did you do? What crime did you commit? He said, your life is still valued the same as mine. Or the life is anybody right now on this hill who's watching me die right now. And that's the crux of it. At least for us. And I understand if it's hard to grasp. I completely understand it. We're coming from a perspective of being 22, 23 years farmer's faith, and I get it.
I was going to say, for the sake of the argument, like I've tried to delve into your world, step into mine where the afterlife and eternity, we've got as much evidence of it not existing as we do as what you guys believe in.
Yep,
we
yep,
don't know
yep,
until
yep.
it happens.
Yep.
So in the context of it not existing, and let's go with that version of reality, if there's no afterlife, so you can't say everyone deserves a shot at eternity, let's say everyone gets one shot at life.
Which is this on Earth, right?
Yeah, this
Correct.
is what we're doing.
Yep.
And then you do those. So again, no afterlife. There's nothing
Correct.
you're seeking
It's just
after.
this.
You
close
just
your
get
eyes
this
and it's
one
that-
shot.
Yep.
You live 25 years.
Yep.
And you murder someone.
Yep.
Are you still going to tell me that life is as valuable as mine?
The guy who murdered someone?
Yep.
Is his life as valuable as yours?
When I've had a clean slate,
Yep.
he's murdered someone.
Mm-hmm.
Is his life still as valuable as mine?
On Earth, I cannot depreciate the value of someone's life if I've not given it to him. That's what I'm telling you. I cannot.
See, but
I have not given this thing value. I've not said
But
this guy's valued X amount.
We live in a world where this is a reality and these things happen. I think you need to be able to, like, there's some
And then-
critical thinking skills involved in being able to condemn those things.
But this is where I think this is where we have an issue. Condemning is not the issue. I will condemn him and say what you've done is messed up, right? Condemning is not the issue, but telling someone your life is worthless,
Yes.
is where I draw the line. I'll condemn you. I'll tell you deserve life in prison. I'll tell you deserve to do whatever penance, repentance, whatever you need to do because you've messed up beyond what the regular person would do. But I will not sit in front of someone and tell him your life is worth less because at any given point that person can change their life.
See, I think even going back, like, I think that's just so easy to sit there and say rather than having an opinion on the matter, though. You know what I mean?
But that is my opinion on the matter.
I get that, but it's like, again, we're comparing me, who's done nothing wrong majorly in my life, and let's say a serial killer, not even one murder.
Yeah.
I personally think that it's quite easy and lazy to just be like, oh, no, I can't have an opinion on that. Like, it's right in front of us.
That is my opinion. My opinion is...
No, as in, like,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't mean opinion. I can't judge the value of your lives.
Well,
I think, like, it's right in front of us.
I can judge your actions. If you tell me who's a better
But
person...
they're actions that you undertake in your life and they're a reflection on the things inside of you.
But does that equate value?
Yes, absolutely.
It equates how you get treated on Earth. It may equate how people treat you. It may equate...
I absolutely think it equates value.
Because
Because value comes with the opportunities and privilege that you do have in life. I believe I have more value because if I'm a good person, I deserve to have kids. I deserve to raise people in this world. These sick, twisted people, they don't deserve to have those same privileges.
Okay, maybe this is a bad...
And I firmly believe
maybe
that.
this is a bad analogy. And tell me if it's a bad analogy. You have $200 bills in front of you. One has cuts in it, tears, torn up, one's split, the other one's a perfect $100 bill. Both are legible. They're both still $100 bills. Are you telling me the one with cuts is less valuable than the one without cuts?
No, that is a poor analogy because they can't effectively serve the same purpose in life. Someone that's sick and twisted, a serial killer, all this, they can't...
No. What is the value of those $100
No, I'm
bills?
saying it's a poor analogy of this situation.
Okay, so let's answer my question. What is the value of the cut up $100 bill and the perfectly just out of the mid $100 bill?
If they're both legible, they're both $100. But
Okay.
that's
Okay,
not
so-
a counterpoint to mine, though, because it is a different...
So no, I'm getting somewhere. So if you can't take away the value of the cut up $100 bill because you haven't assigned the value of the $100 bill, we don't decide that $100 bill is worth $100 bill. It is decided that $100 bill is worth $100 bills.
It's not God that decides when these notes are legible, though. There's people in place for this shit.
Exactly.
And
you're
we, as a
proving my
society
point.
and we as humanity, are the people in place to judge
You're
these
proving
things.
my point. On a macro level, the governments or governmental bodies decide this is the value of that paper. We don't decide it. So governmental bodies is this analogy. When we're talking about religion, we're talking about God. We're separated from both of those parties. We are purely just a player in this game. If you can't tell me that cut up $100 bill is worth less than the mint one, because we haven't assigned the value to the $100 bill.
But I'm not proving your point because that's too black and white for humanity. There's emotions and science involved in this stuff which you can't apply to a $100 bill. So if it's determined that both are legible, then obviously they have the same value. I understand that's the point that you're making.
Despite one being torn, cut up, drawn on,
Yes.
and the other one being perfect.
Because it's determined that they can serve the same purpose.
Yes.
If it is determined by health professionals and science and all the research we have done in psychology that this person is a psychopath and a danger to themselves and everyone around them,
It's not
we
possible for
cannot
them.
serve the same function in
It's
society.
not possible for them. You don't think it's possible for them to change, to have the opportunity or given the
Brandon,
opportunity
we're
to
talking
change
about
their terms.
diagnosed psychopaths that need serial rehabilitation and to be in asylum. It's not
Yeah,
you killed someone. Like, let's think about it. Like, we cannot serve the same function in society. I can serve the world a lot more than they can once they've crossed that point.
And that's where your metric of value comes from, is the point, what they serve in society.
Absolutely. You can contribute a lot more to the world and to all the people around you when
Okay.
you've done those things.
Okay.
If I'm a danger to everyone in this room, to me, to the entire suburb, and I need to be locked in a straitjacket or else I'm going to kill another 20 people, I cannot serve this world. I am worth nothing to this world. I'm not saying this for people
You have a very good point, actually.
Yes, I know.
And you know where
I'm quite passionate about
You
this.
know where I'm now understanding where our difference is, and it's actually you made it very clear in the beginning. I don't know why I didn't pick it up. Is your conversation fairly ends at this world? So your value
Yeah.
of a human's life ends at this world, which is in that context. I understand what you mean.
Thank you.
In my context, value of a human life is not on this earth, which is why we have different opinions.
Let's get this for the thumbnail.
That's insane, baby.
Damn.
That was pretty insane.
Thank you.
I'm proud of us. That shit was nuts.
That was good content. Fuck, we're at an hour 40.
Yeah.
Hey,
What a
guys.
podcast, Josh, huh?
Do you have any
guys.
thoughts?
I was like guy front row seats. Hope everyone's enjoying.
This
I know
may
I
be the
was.
greatest podcast we've ever done yet, period.
I told you I wanted to do the best
I'm going to be
episode ever
honest.
today.
This is the greatest podcast we've ever done, period.
How y'all doing at home?
Yeah, Josh and I.
I hope everyone's watched the full episode. We have to market this as our best episode
I hope
ever.
y'all.
No, like we have to clip something like this, 100%.
I hope y'all
Yeah,
at
okay.
home
Because
enjoying
this
the
is like-
episode.
This is what people want to see.
Yep.
They don't want to see us talk about
Clips are back this week.
NBA's cool, Taylor Swift's cool. That has not a long longevity to it. This is what we want to see.
Whoa. She's 2.6 million.
Anyway, my bladder's getting quite full at this point in
And
time.
I hate Darvin Ham. Okay,
I was
look.
gonna say we didn't talk about that yet.
I'm not going to talk about the Lakers.
no, go, why
I'm
not?
just saying.
It's already a 1 hour 40 podcast.
I
Alright.
haven't even
Can I
spoken
take a
about
bathroom break while
I
you
haven't
talk?
even said the.
Okay, go on.
All right, we'll talk ball. I haven't even spoken about the Knicks yet.
Josh, you talk about the Knicks.
Well, as we are recording this episode, first of all, shout out to all the listeners. I hope you're still with us.
Shout out to all the listeners.
I know I
blowing up
tapped
my
out a
phone.
while ago, so I hope you guys are doing a little bit better than I am. But great discussion from the two lads over on my left. Keeping the energy. We love to hear that.
Are you talking about the Knicks or what?
But nah, make up your own mind. Let's segue into some basketball.
Is this going to be the last segment?
Probably. I hope
Alright,
so. I'm
if you don't
fucking-
care about the basketball, you're done now. Thank
I'm
you for
so
listening. We
hungry.
appreciate you.
No, it'll be like 2 minutes, just so we don't end on some serious chat, because
Yeah,
that's
speed run.
boring. The mighty New York Knicks take the first round today. We move on to the series against Indiana. Can't wait. That's all I have. Phil, quick, your one sentence about the Lakers. I'm just a very proud Knicks fan today.
Can you keep talking while I eat my Kit Kat and then I'll
Yes. I did also see the Fall Guy movie last week, which I thought I'd jump in and give a quick review. I Am the Movie Guy, starring Emily Blunt and Ryan Reynolds. Knew it was about stunts, didn't really have any other
Alright, I'm
context.
ready. They don't care. I'm kidding.
It was a good movie. Just the kind of film that appreciates cinema. I was there and I went, oh yeah, hell yeah. Just the kind of shit we love. I would recommend it. It hasn't come out in America yet, so spoilers, it is good.
Does this frame look familiar to all you lovers of the Josh and Phil episode?
To all my lovers out there.
I hope that Darvin Ham is unemployed by the end of the week and never finds another job. Because I think what he did with the Los Angeles Lakers this year is...
Criminal.
I think it's a criminal act, and I do believe that it's worse.
He's
worth
worth. Do you
less
reckon
than-
he's worth? Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go there. I have something I want to say about the Lakers. I'm actually quite relieved this season ended early. It was a really fun season to be a fan of just because of how stupid this shit was. The Lakers, for one of the most historic NBA franchises of all time, the most decorated, all these championships, all these legends, eras, Showtime, Shaq and Kobe, Kobe's Lakers, the Bron era, everything in between. They wilt way back in the day.
Jerry West era. Got it from
The
the
logo,
legend.
man. I think it's an absolute embarrassment to what this decade has become and will pan out to be for the Lakers. They got a championship in 2020.
Forgettable.
They made great. Mate, take my seat.
Pop a squat, big man. We're almost done here.
Almost done. I just got to get this off my chest.
It's a
Sure,
rant.
they
This
got
is a real rant.
They got a 2020 championship, and then they were first round exit, missed the playoffs, swept in the Western Conference Finals, and then lost in the first round.
Whack.
We're about halfway through this decade, or just under. They've got no future. Coaches come in and out the door because they make hires based on friendship rather than capabilities and qualifications. Roster moves and acquisitions are made based on who's buddy-buddy with who and not who will help the team be more successful. Salary cap situations and contracts are made based on right now with absolutely zero consideration to the future, and they are awful at drafting outside of the lottery. This team's cooked. And this is why, everyone knows who my favorite player is. And I'm really appreciative of the year that D'Angelo Russell had as a fan. And I love that he quite literally controls the entire Lakers' future right now. Because he's declining a player option of 18 million. Let's say his market, he's going to get, let's say, around 20 a year. He has the chance to do the funniest thing ever, and after he's been screwed around all year by Darvin Ham and this team, to just walk to another team, no sign and trade, no nothing, and then they are stuffed. They've got no cap room to move. They're going to sign Bron back for $60 million a year. They're going to have Spencer Dinwiddie as a starting point guard. They're going to be even worse than they have been at their lowest moments this year, and he came out on top. Now, if they're smart, Darvin Ham will be unemployed in 2 days. They'll hire real coaches, whether that's promoting Phil Handy, whether that's Ty Lue becomes available, Vogel available again, JJ, Rondo's assistants. If they actually hire capable coaching staff, retain Bron and D'Lo, get Isaiah Hardenstein from Josh's team, and actually fill out a bench of competent players and implement a system that complements the team that they have a chance to do something really good. But if they decide to be stingy and not dip into the luxury tax and protect their pockets over their franchise, the rest of the 2020s for the Lakers is going to be as miserable as any franchise has ever seen.
We're done with the 2020s.
We're done with the 2020s if they do this shit. Bron's playing against podcasters. I'm done.
That's it. We're done.
I hate that franchise.
Look, we're at an hour 40. This is a record podcast.
We're gonna miss burgers.
And genuinely, the best podcast that we've done.
The best.
Like, Joe's podcast had the title for a while.
Yeah, sorry, Joe.
I'm very happy he had the title. It was a great podcast. But we have just outdone ourselves.
He might have to come back on to try and top it again.
Amazing.
With that being said, I think it's time we wrap up. What a welcome back podcast. What a night to be with us. We really appreciated all of you.
Very dangerous not to be a podcast enjoyer.
If you listen to all and in the entire 1 hour 40 of it, props to you. We're really gonna have to go hard on the marketing because, as I said, we don't want this episode to go missed. But we're back. We're all in the country for a little bit, at least for the next 4 episodes or so. So let's
the last 4 episodes of the season, we could say we're gonna go on a mid-season break.
Why are you pointing at me?
Why are you pointing at Phil?
Yeah, you're the next to leave, big dog.
Oh, it's 25 days.
25 days.
Who's counting, though? Who's counting? Not me. I don't know.
I'm counting.
Oh, I'm not.
I have a countdown.
Oh, who's counting?
I'm
excited
counting because I
it's
go
just
to
a
Melbourne.
thing that I'm doing.
Anyway, well, point of the matter is we're going to be here for a little bit, so
we should have some ball footage out. Is that what the plan is? Just a little something?
Yes, no, maybe so.
A little something for the fans?
Something cooking up in the lab.
And another, yes, we'll keep that quiet until the footage is out.
Hush, hush.
Gatekeep. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. As always, we're back. We're back with the vengeance.
The Knicks are so back.
We're coming here to take over the podcast game. It's
the Eastern Conference.
It's been a pleasure. It's been Brandon.
It's been a pleasure.
You didn't say your name.
No, it's just been a pleasure.
Okay.
They know who I am. You all know who I am.
My name is Josh Hart, and I averaged 15 rebounds this series.
And it's Brandon Ingram signing out.
That's it. They just got swept.
Yeah, that's right. He's a dope guy. Take care. Brush your hair. Love you guys.
Yoo-hoo.
Smell you later.